Good morning, Flosstube. It is Monday, June 22nd, possibly. My name is Crystal, and this is my YouTube channel, Tattletales and Pop-Tarts. It has been a while since I posted a Flosstube video. I have to talk about it. So I was gathering all of my items a couple of weeks ago. In fact, here's my notes. So this was a week ago. Here's my notes. These were all the items that I was going to talk about in my Flosstube video last Monday. It was a week of Mania, and then the first week of June. So that's what I was going to talk about. But I was on the Facebooks, and I am a part of a lot of cross-stitch groups on Facebook, as I'm sure everybody is. And a post was made in one of the groups that I felt attacked, kind of. And I thought to myself, this does not belong in this group. This is hateful. And instead of commenting on the post, I chose to private message the person and just kind of point out that, like, hey, I get your point, but this is not okay. And one thing led to another, and I was called names. Now, our world is a ugly, ugly, ugly place right now, and there's a lot of reasons for it. I fully understand all of the reasons for it. I don't ever talk about politics. I rarely talk about religion. I rarely talk about parenting styles. I rarely talk about those things. While I have strong feelings about all of them, they're my feelings. And my feelings I'm not going to tell someone how they feel is wrong, because how they feel is how they feel. While I strongly disagree with a lot of things, unless I'm close with someone and I actually know their life and I have seen their path and their struggles and why they are the way they are, coming down on an individual that you don't know I don't know how to say this, only adds to the problem. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to add to any problems, which is why I don't talk about this stuff. So that being said, I am no longer part of that group, and I was really, really upset. I was really disappointed and confused and really upset because I don't think hate has a place in our world at all. Like, I wish it didn't. Obviously it does because it's happening. I wish it didn't, but I certainly don't think that strangers, because we're all ultimately strangers, in a hobby group should be hateful towards one another. I don't even know if my words are making any sense. Needless to say, I did not film the video that day because I'm struggling with my words and what I want to say now. What would have come out of my mouth a week ago would have contributed to the problem, which I think we need to stop doing. I think we have enough problems, and I think we should support those that are struggling right now and not add fuel. I think everyone deserves a voice, unless it's hateful. If it's hateful, take it home. Like, I don't think being hateful helps anyone. Anyone. So, that is why I chose not to film a video that day. I just was completely disgusted. I will say, I am very insulated. I currently live in a very small town in Wisconsin. It is a fairly conservative town. I am a stay-at-home / work-at-home mom. I am active in my church. I am active in mom groups, and I do play groups. And so when I say I am insulated, I mean I spend a lot of time with other moms. Moms of all kinds of colors, shapes, parenting styles, religious views, what have you. But I spend almost all of my time with moms. And I think the one thing that a lot of moms have in common is trying to keep the peace. And we're all so exhausted from our normal daily lives of raising small, tiny children. That's the right word. Children. Little tiny monsters. That I understand there's so much going on in the world, but I'm not exposed to it on a daily basis. That being said, I was raised in the South, in a suburb of Dallas. I was the minority. And so I've experienced diversity. I'm not right now. The point I'm trying to make is I don't, in my daily life, experience a lot of hate. Because while we all look different, we are all different sizes and colors and shapes and personalities. We are all moms. And so we're all exactly the same. And so if anything I say seems small-minded or narrow-minded, it's because right now my life is narrow. Right now my life is about raising my kids, and I'm surrounded by other moms. And I don't care what those other moms look like. We're all in the trenches together, just trying to survive 18 years. So I'm just not used to hate. I've strived really hard in the last 2 years to remove hate from my life. And so last week was a big blow. To step out of my insulated world of parenting and church and cross stitch, to remember that people hate each other. And people are willing to be horrible to each other, whether they know them or not. So I had to step back. So that's all. That's what happened. And that being said, I'm not going to talk about any of this. It was the last week of my mania. I did start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 things. I would say go check out my Instagram, but honestly, y'all, I even stopped posting on Instagram. I removed myself from social media last week. Not last week. Yeah, almost entirely. I watched Flosstube videos, but I didn't really comment on them. I just don't understand. I don't understand what being hateful, how bringing hate to the table solves anything. I just don't understand. So all of that, 13 minutes of all of that to say, that's why there has not been a video in a long time. So I have a few things to show that I worked on last week. I was a little overwhelmed after Mania, so I tried to focus. I also have chosen to leave some groups that I'm involved in because that amount of people is just a little too much for me. And all of the tasks it was a lot. So I am still a part of Enchanted Stitching. That is the first group I joined. That is my favorite group because I like working in big chunks on a project. And that group lends itself to that. So I did that last week. I've been working on bingo and semi-sane stitchers. I got a bingo. I was not one of the first people to get a bingo, but I did get a bingo. And once I got a bingo, I was like, I'm done. Because stitching 50 stitches on an item, I feel like I'm just pulling something out and putting it away. And it was too much. So I got my bingo and quit. So let's get into what I actually did do last week. It's not a lot. Well, it was a lot of stitches, a lot of X's, not a lot of projects. So the first one is, before I do that, a few videos back, I talked about a giveaway I had won from Christine Stitch All the Things here on YouTube. Stitch All the Things is her YouTube name. And I won a thread keep. And it was tucked in a bag. I kept forgetting to grab it. Well, I finished that project, and so I grabbed the piece out. she does not make these. I won this from her. I think his name is Ed. I'll link her channel below, where she talks about Ed. And he makes these. They are super nice. Super nice. And I don't know if you can see that. And then it's got 12 holes. It's beautiful. I don't use thread keeps. I don't use accessories really. But I do love it. And I'm going to use this. The other thing is I use DMC. So I don't know how that would take a lot of prep work, but I am going to use this in the future. But I did want to mention it. I found it. There it is. So the first thing I worked on was Flume Topia. I did release 10, so we have 2 left to go. This is a stitch along from Fat Quarter Shop. It is a free pattern on their blog, The Jolly Jabber, and they just ask that you make a donation to Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you go to The Jolly Jabber, they have all the information. They are almost at their goal, I think. They've almost raised $55,000 for Make-A-Wish this year, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And so on the 1st and 15th of every month, when did this start? April? Maybe? March? Maybe? You get a little piece. And this is on 14 count tea-dyed Aida that I baked. You can see all that modeling. I baked in the oven all scrunched up. And then every 1st and 15th you go to their blog and you can download and print the next release. And so this was release 10. So we have release 11, which I believe is a basket of strawberries, or it's a basket of some sort of fruit. And then release 12 is the whole border. So I'm almost done. I am using all of the called for DMC, except for color 747. I could not find when I was starting this project, and so I decided to add some purple in. Now, this purple is much darker than I anticipated. I don't know. So it very bold. I probably would have done a little bit more of a lavender color, but that's the color I'm using. So that is my Flume Topia. I am loving it. I'm loving that it's like a little assignment every couple of weeks. So go back in the back, please. So there's that. What is the next thing that I did? And that fulfilled an Enchanted Stitching challenge prompt for like the weekly one. And then I worked on Mania. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. What's going on? So this one, I have so much stuff in here. Yeah. I don't know if I showed this. This is one I was going to talk about that I ended up not. It was Quaker Heart. Patriotic Heart Quaker Style. This is on my Instagram, who it's by. I can't remember who this is by. Ori TM, maybe? But I finished this. I'm going to turn this into a little pillow. So there's that. And then I last week finished Liberty. This is a freebie by Lizzie Kate. The stars were supposed to be a gold color. I can't remember what the color it was. But this is 14 count tea-dyed Aida, and the gold just wasn't showing up. So I decided to... The bottom was supposed to be white, the middle was supposed to be red, and then the stars were supposed to be gold. So I swapped the two line colors and then made all of the stars red. And I think it turned out pretty cute. Liberty. I'm going to turn that into a pillow also. So that was a finish, a Mania finish. I used, the called for DMC. Then, as another Enchanted Stitching, that worked for an Enchanted Stitching prompt. I don't remember which one. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I think I just finished it because it was so close. But I also worked on Feels Like Home, which was the Fat Quarter Shop Stitch Mania, FQS Stitch Mania release for May for this year. And you paid for the pattern, and every Friday you got a portion of the pattern emailed to you. And it was called Feels Like Home, and this is it. And the flower was the last part, and this fit the romantic prompt for Enchanted Stitching last week. So I finished it. I'm very excited. I haven't fully finished it. I'm not sure how. I kind of want to turn it into a pillow, but I have a 5-year-old. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. So it's just going to sit in my drawer for a little while. That house, y'all. Holy cats. That took a long time. The solid stitching. But it is just, I love it. I love it. The fence was supposed to be, I can't remember what color, this border color. And it just wasn't showing up. This was done on 14 count ivory Aida, and it just wasn't showing up. So I chose to do my fence in this color, the window color, or like the wall color. Everything else is the called for DMC, because it had a DMC list and a Orifloss list, I believe. So there's that. Love it. Just need to finish it. And then my next one, I don't remember why I did this. Maybe just because it was so close. This is 4th of July by the Tiny Modernist. This was also a freebie. This was also a Mania start. So I finished this also. Happy 4th of July. And I used the called for DMC. 14 count tea-dyed Aida. Also going to turn this into a pillow. So I need to bust out the sewing machine because I have this, and I still have this to fully finish. So I have these 4 that I'm going to turn into little pillows. Now I really think I want to utilize a lot of denim for these 4th of July pieces. So I need to get myself to the Goodwills or something and buy a pair of blue jeans and cut them up. So there's that. And then my last my last piece I'm going to talk about, I am so excited. I finished this, today is Monday. I finished this Saturday night. I told my husband, I'm not going to bed till this is hanging on the wall. That's right. Finished stitching, ironed, fully finished. I was not going to bed. So I stayed up until 11:57 p.m. doing this. This is Seasons in Chalk, Stars and Stripes from Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. I love it. Love that flag. All of it. I feel like everything I've been working on lately has been a lot of solid stitching. That flag was a doozy. Those flowers even were a doozy. But it is beautiful. This is done on 14 count black Aida. You can't even tell that it's Aida, really. I like the stark black for these chalkboard ones. I know that there's chalkboard fabric, but I love the black. I think everything pops so nicely. All of those little Smyrnas, my stitches are not perfect. All those little dots, those are Smyrna stitches. I just love it. I love these chalkboard ones. So, there's a ton of mistakes in this guy. The beauty of these is you can't tell. And I honestly can kind of make things up as I go. If your leaf is, I want to say, this leaf is a stitch too short. Yeah, it's like one stitch squattier than it should be. No one knows. And it's just, gotta get that black string off there. It's just the beauty of the pattern. I just love these chalkboard ones. How I finished this is I'm trying to get this black string off. This was this was an ugly brown frame that I got from Goodwill this is honestly white primer paint. It's white primer. I have inside the frame black and white check fabric, and then I just made a double layered burlap bow. Those are stationary. They don't move, they don't change. The piece itself is on there with washers and magnets. So it is super easy to just swap out. So I have spring done. I have stars and stripes. I am skipping summer. And I'm going to do summer next year. But my next one is going to be the fall one. I'm going to do fall and then Christmas. And next year I will do, well, maybe. I have all the patterns. They are in the 2016 Just Cross Stitch magazine on Annie's craftsomething.com. I've been sharing all that information below. I have all of the magazines. But the housewife, okay, so Hands On Design is coming out with the Chalk Talk series. I want to do all of those. I am somewhat newish to cross stitch, so all of the chalk for the home, all of the jars, all of the farmhouse chalk series, I want to do them all. Then you add in Sip of the Seasons. I'm not doing the little cups. What's in my cup? I'm not doing those. I just couldn't keep up. But the Sip of the Seasons, I'm doing all of those. I'm doing Quilty Love for every season. The Lizzie Kate Smalls, which I will have to show next week. The Hands-On Design Year in Chalks. Like, there are so many series that I'm kind of having to rein it in. And I'm saying to myself, pick what you will actually hang on the wall for now. And what you can live without, just wait. You have the rest of your life to stitch all of this. So, I'm skipping summer. I have the fabric, the pattern, and all of the floss in a bag ready to go. So if in 20 years I decide I need summer also, I have it. So that was last week. I had 4 finishes and Flume Topia release. I didn't work on a ton of whips like I have been doing. Mania, I kind of got burned out. And I felt like for June, I just needed to like tone it down a little bit and get some things finished because I am participating in Jolly July. Woohoo! I am very excited. I am doing, well, I'm participating in Jolly July every day, but I also want to do some other things. So, I will talk about those now. Just try to tuck some things. Okay. So then, I don't know if I'm allowed to show this yet or not, so I'm just going to show the bag. I am a member of Stitch Quarterly, through Fat Quarter Shop. I'm almost done with Homegrown, but I got my next one, Americana Spirit. I am going to start this in July. I'm going to start it. I don't know. Is it solid? It's pretty solid. I'm probably not going to finish it in July. Also, it's on, I want to say 25 count. I have never used 25 count. So, I don't know if I can show this or not. I'll find out before the next one. But if you're interested in joining Stitch Quarterly, pardon me. That came out. So I'm going to try and do that. Fat Quarter Shop is doing a stitch along in July, just like they did for Mania. In fact, I got my fabric today and couldn't figure out what the fabric was for. So I'm doing that. Stitching with the Housewives, they're coming out with a ornament, 4 ornaments in July. So I want to do those. Singing in the Rain is a stitch along through Fat Quarter Shop that I want to participate in. So I'm going to do that. Positivity Rules is another stitch along that I'm starting. It's through Caterpillar Cross Stitch. That's a long stitch along though, so you just get a little section every month. So there's that. All of this on top of the 31 items I had already kitted up and put on my calendar for July. So we'll see how much of it I get to. I don't really know. This week I'm just trying to wrap some more stuff up before July starts. So I'm participating in Enchanted Stitching. That's the only, I don't know why I'm yawning. That's the only event that I'm participating in this current week that we're in. But we'll see when July comes. It's going to be just as nutty as May was. I don't know what I'm thinking. And then in August, I'm probably going to sleep for the whole month. But that is all I have to share that was a rambly video, 35 minutes for literally 5 items. But I did want to share what was on my heart, without like all the details, because honestly the details just, they don't matter. I wanted to share my super exciting finish. I'm so happy that she's done and on the wall. She's beautiful. And kind of share what's around the corner for July. I'm pretty excited about it. Most of what I'm starting is ornaments. I am starting Farmhouse Christmas. That's a biggie. I am starting that. Nothing else massive, I don't think. But yeah. So that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, thank you. And awesome job listening to my rambling. And hopefully nothing will happen that hurts my heart in the next week, and I will be back next Monday with another video. It might not be as long because hopefully I will not have anything to rant about. Yeah. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.